Hello, everybody. Welcome to the UPSB Talkshow live. I am Hobby, joined with We and Reason. How is everybody
Hey.
doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Reason?
I'm pretty okay today. How about you, Hobby? How's your day?
I'm alright. I mean, I'm a little bit tired, but because we had to organize like a podcast like right after last week, but it's all good.
Yeah, I had to
So
sign the Reason and I had to sign the contracts to be on the UPSB podcast
Yeah.
due to sponsorships and endorsements.
Yeah,
we
this
have
week we're sponsored by Pepsi. See, this is an upgrade.
Actually, it's Pepsi Max.
Pepsi Max specifically.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not it's got more calories, but you know it tastes better.
It's slightly cheaper as well.
so I
All right.
wanted
So this
to,
week. Oh, sorry, guys. Go on.
I really want to talk about we had as a dream today because he had a very interesting dream.
All right. Before my dream, we have to mention that Hobby's a moderator now. Everyone.
Yeah, I'm a beta mod. So basically,
You're a
what
beta
happened
mod.
was I mind if I explain like real quick.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah, so basically, my Zcon asked me to become a moderator, and at first I really didn't want to, but and reason was even like kind of like I told you so about it because he posted like no like before I said no on the shoutbox when Zcon asked me. I thought about it a little bit, and I thought I might as well try it out and see like how it goes before I make any decision to step down or stay as a moderator. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wait, so you're gonna replace Zcon?
No. Econ is forever the dank admin of UPSB. It's just
You,
not going to change.
you can't replace that lovable meme. All right, so want to talk about your dream, Sui? Because it's
All
very
right.
rolling.
It was a really, really weird dream. Okay, so when you go to sleep, you close your eyes, but you know that you're not asleep. But for some reason, like an hour or two passes, and then you kind of can't tell whether or not you're awake. So I woke up really, really angry this morning from a dream because basically what happened was in my dream, I was arguing with Strat1227, an old moderator, and Reason on the shoutbox about something. And then so suddenly KCOM comes on and he's a moderator as well. And I'm like, why is he moderator? And then next minute KCOM starts making everyone moderator and I get really, really pissed. So then I got so pissed that I woke up really angry like as well. And that kind of set the mood for today.
I feel like that's like some PTSD shit from like Soul or
It is.
something.
It's like when you play Tetris too much, you start seeing shapes everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You've been spending too much time on the shoutbox, man. You need to like take
I know.
take a breather. All right. So one thing I would like to mention is that one more thing before we fully start on our topics today. We have added a suggestions thread for you guys to look at that Reason has posted in the general discussion on UPSB. So if you guys have a UPSB account, you can go over there and like suggest a couple things to how we do the podcast. Since next week we are not going to be actually hosting a podcast, so during that time you guys can sort of give us suggestions, see what we can do, and we'll do our best to try to put that in if it's within reason. Puns.
That's an original joke, you know.
Yeah, I know. Hilarious and original.
Personal reasons. I love saying that.
Personal. Oh my god.
Yeah, because Tigers kept saying it in the shout box the other day. He's like,
Really?
personal
I think I was
reasons.
asleep during that time then.
All right, what? So, do you guys want to get started into the topic then?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Do it.
All right. So this week's topic is going to be going over spinning in general. Like practicing spinning, favorite spinners or styles, tricks you should learn, what order you should learn them in. and so on. So the first thing is favorite spinners or style that you like.
I think the first thing I want to mention is like, we want to do this because I know a lot of you guys are Reddit goers, and I know like the majority of you guys aren't as like experienced as some of the people on UPSB right now. So I just wanted to kind of address all these issues that a lot of people who start learning pen spinning have. So what's your favorite spinner? Kind of couple spinners at least. Reason.
Oh, okay. Well, I can go over a couple because there were like big ones that influenced me in my pen spinning time. When I started out, I mean, obviously, you see Spinner Peem, you get all juiced up and excited, but that was short lived for me. I really got into Seven for a while from Jeb. Sorry, I know people get triggered by that. And I really liked his style. I got obsessed with him. I really like his solo by Sherney. I believe he has an unofficial solo edited by Sherney PS.
Mm-hmm.
And let me think. Probably later on, I don't know. My favorite spinners have changed a lot. It's a lot more of mostly Jeb guys, but I've gotten way more into Arior recently. Really like him, and I suggest anyone can study him because he knows how to make the smooth moves and the hard moves. So
Yeah, in general, I think everyone should study like a bunch of different spinners, not just because it's really good to get that variety into your like kind of knowledge base.
yeah, it's also like trying to narrow it down to a couple people. I mean, like these are just the first ones that come to my head because there's like a full library of
Yeah,
spinners that like this is why you should
hard.
watch these guys.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple of suggestions from Sui then. What do you think?
Personally, it's hard to describe style that I like, but personally, I like Shonen Batman style. Shonen Batman style. He's an old UPSB spinner from V3 and V4 who had a very typical Jeb style, JEB style, but it was really it's really appealing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And also another more recent spinner is Julia or Susan. Also, I think they're from they're from JB, and they have Shona Batman and Julia have very similar styles. Yeah, I like those two mostly.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is that I really disagree with you saying Jeb style because I just don't want it to be tied to a board, just an ethnicity in general. I really hate it at this point. Everyone just says it.
Racist,
Well,
racist.
some people still use the whole like Korean style thing.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing
with
is
that.
that it's hard to get rid of that, especially with older spinners, because I don't know, like it
Yeah.
actually makes sense. Like there was kind of like a set of what your combo structure would be like if you're making a Korean style combo.
Yeah.
It's like early on when power was considered to be Thai, whereas now power it's not affiliated with any kind of board.
Oh my
Back
god.
then,
Yeah.
I mean back then it was just like
Is it really? I don't think it
Yes,
was.
absolutely.
But they
Yes.
thought Thai was Thai. There was an actual like term that was kind of
Yes,
like
like
Thai
it was
style.
all like Sonics and Twisted Sonics and then Power, all
Oh
just
my
like
god.
fingerless tricks. It's really like dumb summation of an entire board. For a very short time, it was probably accurate, but I mean,
yeah
I don't
before it
think you.
became mainstream.
I still think that some of them were not like power oriented because I remember Thai Spinner first had some like other spinners that weren't like very power heavy.
Well, it was the whole power hype era that shit
Yeah,
was going down.
but I
So.
guess it makes all the other guys like popular.
Yeah, because like most of the power is like so you've got Illusion, Illusion 67 or something. Was he Thai?
I don't remember actually. Wasn't he? I remember he was in UPSB. He considered himself UPSB as but
Okay, well there was we'll just like name like the notable Thai spinners like Peem, Super Weird. We had Tonum,
Tonum, there was like Tiger or someone.
yeah, a
Shinra.
few.
Shinra, oh my god, Shinra style.
Yeah, and those are just but but that was much earlier. Nowadays, good power is considered kind of universal now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it is mostly just super win. We'll agree with that
Yeah.
because those are the most influential people.
Well, again, this was also like back in that era. A lot of people would forget about these spinners. It was just because it was kind of a generic style. It's like this is where people get that association with you are like you're past the beginner stage once you can incorporate power into your combos, which is kind of bull hockey. But
Yeah. Also, NZ, remember that guy? The guy who
oh yeah,
NZDC, remember that mod? Yeah, that mod's pretty
Yeah.
good too.
That
I'm
might be
advertising
fun.
mods now. We're sponsored by the NZDC.
Oh yeah, and also to everyone watching, the reason why we don't have a podcast next week is because we don't have a sponsor. So if you want to sponsor us, then we will be able to have a podcast next week. And if we don't have a sponsor, then we're not going to do the podcast.
Yeah, Pepsi signed us on for a one-shot Johnny contract, so we're not going to be able to do anything else after this. In fact, it was an accident that we actually got signed on to them. So
yeah, so unfortunately, that's gonna be how it goes. But I guess it's me, right? I should say what my favorite spinners are.
Yeah, I
that's really hard. I think I'll pick some from like a little more technical and also a little more like the MX spinners. I would say maybe maybe more technical, someone like Mezzi I would go with, but also like aesthetic, and then even more technical I would go with someone like Dix or like Slophis maybe, and then
Slophis is nice, very nice.
and then what's the other thing? Fuck. Man, that's really hard. MX spinners is really hard. I think I would go with Ryuzin and Niku. Ryuzin I've been like liking a lot more than Niku for some reason. It's just become preference for me, like Ryuzin's style. But those are my handful of spinners. It's really hard to like say which favorite spinners you have because all of them do certain things that another spinner cannot do. So it's just really impossible for you to actually name once you watch a lot of spinning.
Yeah.
In the field.
Yeah, we could spend like ages just discussing what spinners we like and why they're good, but I mean that could take up an entire podcast, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
What up, boy?
So,
right.
you want to move on?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. So the next kind of area we want to talk about is the current state of UPSB in terms of pen spinning, the pen spinning scene, the new generation of spinners, basically.
So, do you want to start, Reese? Or do you want? Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna have probably a whole lot to say about it because I haven't been on. Like anyone, it's like people are either gonna see me as a guy who just showed up again, or I'm a guy from a long time ago who hasn't been really active until just now. So I'm not really aware of a lot of the people on here, but from what I've seen, there is like a decent proportion of committed pen spinners. Like, should I name a few?
Yeah, I guess I think they deserve the recognition. Go ahead.
Well, for one, what is it? Popte?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. He's not like really new, but dang, is he good though? I like his stuff. I remember watching him in my first MX Mondays, when I first started that, and I kind of liked his style back then, and then I just see him keep improving, and I really think he's going places. Screaming Circle, of course, probably one of the better of the younger spinners right now coming up.
So
I really want to mention like he's the Screaming Circle's from Seoul, but like spinning is completely different than what you're posting.
We'll move on. Yeah, we'll discuss that later. Sorry, go on, Reason.
Those things aren't mutually exclusive either. Like shit posting and being a decent spinner. Oh my god, I don't know anyone else that's new. I guess the other person, like, I don't mean to like cut out a lot of people who put work in, but the Archer, I really think he's making some good progress for being a young spinner as well. Just don't get too cocky about it. Don't put all of your chips in one pile. Take time to practice everyone, and yeah, I think we've got a lot of good potential in this year. So I hope to see some people succeed.
Another
How about you guys?
another thing I
Um,
want to mention quick actually
Yes.
is yeah, Archer and Popte are in the chat right now. So it's nice that you gave them that recognition. Um
They're
uh
loving it.
one thing I want to point out is too that like being recognized by older members and stuff is actually not that hard. All you have to do is actually post stuff on UPSB, and eventually one of us will click on it and be curious, like, who is this spinner? Who is this guy that's always keeps battling these people or keeps making collabs or what? Like, it's gonna
Yeah,
happen because as long as you're active, it's really easy for us to actually recognize. And we'll actually
yeah.
watch your spinning, even though
Yeah.
if we don't comment, even if we don't say anything, we'll actually
I mean,
watch your spinning.
we'll also talk to each other too. So like that's what happens is even if I don't watch anyone, like Tigres will get on and be like, "Oh, this person's actually pretty good." And I'm like, "Really?" I just see them post, and then I'll look at them. It's like, "Wow, this person's making really good progress with their 10 spinning age."
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
don't be afraid to post, and I'm always willing to give like suggestions for how you could improve. Unless you're better than me, then stop.
Yeah.
Be- because someone will notice you. Like it's not like you're posting for nothing. Because there will be a small amount of spinners that will of course see your combos and that will notice you. So just keep spinning.
um
Also one other thing. So since I only came back from UPSB within the past few months, I didn't really know anyone. But whenever someone releases a video, I kind of it's like say there are 50 spinners on the board, like on the shout box. I'll probably only remember say about 10 of them, due to the fact that they've done something or they've released like a really nice battle video or combo, like Shiro last night. Before that, I didn't even like recognize Shiro, but then his style kind of like resembled Shin and Batman. So from now on, Shiro, like I'm gonna know Shiro as the guy that looks like Shin and Batman,
mhm.
or that kind of like you associate a spinner with, like with something, and then you just remember them.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's like
Shin.
we don't see each other's faces, so we associate hands and style with names.
Yeah.
So it makes it much easier if we see your spinning and we see your name. It's just putting that together.
Yeah. I agree with the Shiro. Shiro is definitely a really good spinner.
Yeah.
Coming up, potential, all that stuff.
The thing is, apparently Shiro's been around for like 3 years, so he's not that
I
new.
mean, to be honest, I really don't care about how old you are in terms of spinning anymore. I care about how
Yeah,
long you're gonna be spinning.
But
and
yeah, you
and
could
also, oh sorry,
go on.
and also Everest.
Yeah,
Hmm.
if it's
Uh,
alright.
Everest, I looked at I saw his upfez video for
Mhm.
wipers, and it was really good and it was really nice. And then I looked at the other combos, and I'm very glad that I didn't battle him.
Oh yeah, didn't you try to battle someone? I forget what happened.
He he was like "Oh, Sui, you want to battle?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's battle." But then I like jokingly said, "We'll only battle if you accept my conditions," and the condition was to only film one trick or one hybrid trick. And then um, but then he had his physics exam, so he didn't film for like 3 days, and so then he forfeited, and I
Uh,
won technically.
He's got nice hands.
Everest?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Everest.
got
Yeah,
like crow hands or I
Kind of,
guess
yeah.
like rook hands.
Um, uh, Dax, what Dax is saying, like potential, saying that they're like 2-year-old spinners. I still honestly feel like 2 years is actually fairly young from how long I've been around. That's like
We
2 years is really young to still.
like I'm like 7 years. You're like 7 years
Wait, how are you 7 years?
because I didn't join
Oh,
UPSB for like
I
two
might
years.
as well be 7 years too, but I don't really remember.
Well, I joined in 2009, so that makes 7 years as well.
It's
I guess.
6 years for me now, I think.
Yeah.
But definitely 2 years, I would say, is still kind of young. But I would say, yeah.
I wasn't even like a decent level until probably 3 years.
Yeah, you don't really reach like your best until later on. I mean, there's always these prodigies that somehow fucking improve so fast, but they don't stay around very long for some reason. They just
Yeah, a lot of
decide
them they
to
burn
just
out
stop.
fast.
Yeah, they burn out. So I think I'm trying to think of other potential spinners on my mind. Afro was one I mentioned in chat. Afro was pretty
Yes,
good.
I agree with that.
Like I remember Afro like participated in like a tournament. I don't remember when or
The
which
Vine
tournament.
tournament?
Was it a Vine tournament or was it some other one?
I know he did compete in that. I think he did okay in it.
Or was it intermediate tournament?
Maybe. I don't remember that.
But
Like, I mean, I was there when it was happening, but I didn't
yeah.
care.
Who else?
We're talking
Trying to
about just any potential new spinners that you've noticed recently.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something. I
If
know, man. Oh yeah, Ava. Ava is one that I like to
Yep.
look out for because I remember actually there was like that thread, like there was some sort of tack-on thread or like some small links thread that they made against, like it was like a battle between like 3 people. It was like a small tournament they hosted just for their friends, and Ava actually can do some interesting like cool. Even though he's an MX spinner, like he can still do some cool stuff. Although the reason why I like Ava a lot is because very few people spin MX and you go spin that kind of have that kind of style. I guess want to spin that way, like more focused on execution and such. So that's why I really encourage him to keep spinning the way he is because I really like the direction his spinning is going. Who else right now? Monk actually disappeared, but I've actually talked to him recently, so he's still around. He's just he has potential, but he hasn't. I don't think he's been practicing as much.
Yeah. I see him pop up here and there, and he's always had like pretty decent spending. So, I mean, he's improved a lot more in the past year or so. But
All right, is that pretty much it?
Yeah. So moving to the next topic kind of area is tricks that every spinner should know or at least try to learn. So the essentials, basically.
Or like, yeah.
So Reese, what do you reckon?
Geez,
That's really
that's
hard.
actually that is kind of a hard one to answer. I mean, like, who should I direct this towards? Like beginners or intermediates?
I think why don't we direct it more to beginners because we know a lot of Reddit people.
Yeah, because I think Reddit, yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, obviously, like, learn your fundamentals, but to be honest, things like finger pass, that isn't quite as important because that comes along with other tricks. I don't know. Learn your arounds for sure. Arounds are super helpful. Learn every one of them. Try to learn the reverses, but they're not quite as important. But arounds especially will help you with everything.
Rounds are great. I think the rounds are almost like the basis of technical spinning because it leads into power passes and leads into all this other stuff.
I think they're like the next tier up from fundamentals. Like you do your fundamentals and then it progresses to like shadow, arounds, that kind of thing.
But the easiest answer would probably just straight up be what's the most important tricks to learn? Start with fundamental. I would just say that trick group right there is just the most important because you always have to start with those because those are like the basis of like all spinning.
Yeah, so basically just the fundamentals and variations because like Sonic, reverse Sonic, inverse Sonic, and then in different positions, even like reverse charge in like 1 2 2 3 3 4 is really helpful because you can be surprised at the combos that you can do if you just know like the fundamental variations, and if you can perform them well, you'll never run out of tricks to do in a combo.
Yeah. Another good reference is definitely, I'm not sure if it's still on YouTube, but Error's fundamental combo.
I believe it is. I'll link it
That
in the,
that combo is a really good reference because it uses only fundamentals in the combo. Yes, it uses hybrids and it uses like some around harmonic and whatever, but they're all made up of fundamentals. So having like looking at that as a reference, I don't expect any beginner to be able to pull that off because that's actually really hard to pull off. But like it's a really good reference to like figure out what kind of tricks you can do and like what your combo could look like if you actually literally mastered all the fundamentals. And that's what
yeah.
Error has done.
And if you look at the combo, it looks like it doesn't look like a fundamental combo. It looks like a regular combo, but if you slow it down, it's really just passes and sonics and just variations of it.
So do we want to talk about a little bit about what we've been learning, I guess, then?
Yeah, we can do that. Reason or hobby?
You want me to start?
Yeah, Hobby, you go first. I've been going first a lot.
I mean, I kind of share this with Sui right now because I've been trying to learn Neosa. Like, let me type it in chat here. It's Neosa, which stands for like Neo single axis, like a Jap. Like, this is basically the Jeb term for that trick. It's basically Neo back to mid back 1.5. And
okay, yeah.
And I've been struggling with it for the past, I don't know, the whole time when I've been inactive, I've been struggling with it. And the reason why I've been struggling with it is because when I first tried to do mid-backs, I did it completely different than how I do it now. And the reason for that is because I didn't like the way I did mid-backs. So I spent so long trying to fix how my hand looked when I was doing mid-backs, and that fucked up my consistency so hard that I had to like basically relearn it now. So I'm getting better at Neosa, but it's definitely something I still need to improve. Sui, like you said you were trying to learn, but like how is it going?
Alright, so I've been trying to learn the mid back as well. So Neo back to mid back 1.5. It's the one trick I've never been able to do, and I still can't do it. It's just a very weird motion to be able to connect the two tricks together, and being able to do the motion to push the pen to do another mid back 1.5 like continuous. And besides that, I've been trying to do twisted sonics, like not like a regular twisted sonic, but the variations, so like inverse, reverse, different
Warp
slots,
Sonic, stuff like that.
Yeah, my hands just. I think I showed you like a picture of something where if I bend down my middle finger, my ring finger also bends down with it rather than staying independent. So some tricks are just really weird to do because I can't get the hand positioning right.
Yeah. I mean, I can't like bash you because you're more of a modern spinner, so I don't care.
And plus, I don't ever film, so no one knows what my spinning is like.
Well, I've seen your spinning. I have a raw file of your spinning because you gave it to me.
It's like it's literally like 1 second.
It's not that bad though. I actually don't think it's that bad. But in any case,
reason?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Reason?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Well, I know mid back 1.5s, but I don't really use them that much anymore. Geez, what am I working on now? I guess lately I've been working on a couple of kind of stupid tricks that I've just been wanting to implement as finishers or as spicy things and combos. So I've been working on continuous bust 1.5. That's a tough one, but I really want to get that one for a finisher. Normal continuous mid back, I like that one a lot too. I remember watching Uera do that in what was it? Japan's World Cup qualification video. It's just a really cool, clean finisher.
God, who's dropping the pen?
That wasn't me.
Fucking American motion going on back here.
Besides that, I don't know. I've been working on index spin more, but that's annoying. I don't know, not much besides that. It's mostly like different power tricks. Like I was talking with Isaac the other day about learning fingerless index around to spider spin. And I've actually improved a little bit of that because of his help, but I don't think enough to actually incorporate it in a combo yet.
Okay.
So
How is your spider spin consistency now, anyways? I remember you used to be able to do them.
oh no, I never was able to do a lot of them. I mean, maybe I could do 3 consistently, but it's still one of those things where bouncing between palm spin,
Oh,
like bouncing between those different types of like that type of power trick, it's really tough for me because I have to get the feel down again. Like it's even hard for me to remember like palm spin sometimes. But like trying to go from palm spin to panu or palm spin to spider spin, it's just it gets me out of whack because there's a slightly different movement and a slightly different feel to each one. Um, so usually I'm only consistent at one at any given point, or like I have to practice again to get back into the groove.
I want to mention real quick that blooper. He keeps saying power in the chat because he actually doesn't have like a pen spinning background. So he watched like half of the podcast, and we were talking about denial or something, and I said something about power. Now he's just making jokes about power the whole time. Pretty funny.
Is he one of your donor friends?
So like, how'd you do that? How'd you manage to pull that walk us third video off? Because that was some spider spin too.
That was lucky. That was also not great execution. So
Wasn't that bad.
I'm trying to remember what I did for that one. I'm gonna just real quietly look at that.
All right, we'll go on from there. We'll move on to the next thing. So the next thing is trends in spinning with new spinners. So, of course, there's power trickings. There's been a kind of like a rise in spreads. Like spreads are being more common. Common linkages that a lot of spinners use, and yeah. So, hobby.
I disagree with a couple things about for spreads. First of all, is like I think it was popular for a while and then it kind of died off. I mean, it's still like used fairly often today, but I remember when spreads like when someone like it became a trick like on in the world tournament and all this shit. Like it was a thing. Like everyone did spreads in the competition. Like if you guys remember that really old video, I don't remember what it's called. It was like there was like some Asian spinners. Was it pen spinning online? I think it was pen spinning online, right? And then they like did a top like trick thing, right? And it was just spreads.
They didn't even put spreads for most of that. It was almost all Power Pass, and it's before Power Pass is really known as Power Pass.
I think they made the switch spread, which is like the power pass into the spread, I guess.
Yeah, no one called it Power Pass though at the time. I don't know. It was kind of weird, but
Really?
yeah, that there was a lot of. I don't think it was called Power Pass for at least a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not like a pen spinning history major, so
I asked Nexus for that.
I suck probably not.
I mean, you keep saying that Nexus knows a lot of stuff, so that's why.
I'm not sure how active he was even at that.
Well, in any case, like power is actually I agree with like power is fairly common among new spinners, but the thing is like I actually don't mind too much when people that are newer learn power because power takes a long time to practice. It takes a lot of time to actually get a consistent get a consistent number of the same trick down. So I don't mind too much because in the future you can actually use that to your advantage. You keep that consistency. But if you learn a lot of power when you're new and you don't learn a lot of linkages and stuff, that's a little bit off balance because you don't have much to show in combo. That's the case. So yeah, it does happen, but it's not like I don't really mind it. It's fine. As with common linkages I feel like are an important reference or base, knowledge base to use because a lot of spinners, especially like old Korean spinners and like some of the MX spinners you see right now, a lot of them do use the same linkages, and those are kind of useful linkages if you trick based start out with and be able to make combos. So yeah.
I agree.
Reason? Did you have anything else to add?
No, not really. I think you covered most of it.
Or Sweet?
I wanted to mention power tricking. Because there's been, I think you guys may have noticed it as well, but a lot of newer spinners, they're kind of prioritizing power tricking over a lot of other things, like learning, like consistency or smoothness or even basic linkages. They're kind of moving towards, like, I want to learn how to be able to power trick, like do high tours and multiple busts or fingerless, like finishes or whatever, while they're neglecting the fact that they should also be focusing on smoothness and execution as well. Like, I've seen some combos of spinners where they still need to work on how consistent they spin. Like their spinning just looks jagged. It's inconsistent. It looks like half done combos, and then they also try to do like triple bust at the end, and it looks like they almost dropped the pen kind of thing. It's just that power tricking isn't. Yeah, it's just like power tricking isn't. I mean, it's nice to learn, but you shouldn't prioritize it when you're learning early on. It looks good, but eventually you'll be able to do it. Just don't focus on it purely on power tricking. There are other things in pen spinning that can make your spinning look much better than than being able to power spin. Because there are a lot of spinners out there that rarely utilize power tricking, and their spinning, is fine. So I just wanted to mention that.
Another thing I want to mention is that I know power is a lot of fun to practice. I know it's a lot of fun. I know Reason can probably understand this, and I can understand.
when he's drunk and high, he loves power.
He likes making a tutorial on how to do Twisted Sonic Bust.
Yeah.
If you guys did not see that, that's on YouTube on Reason's channel. Shameless advertising.
Yeah, that's my most popular video right now.
So. Actually.
I mean, it doesn't have the most views, but it's definitely got the most activity on it. So I started a meme, guys.
That's pretty funny. I think I like kind of glanced at it at first, and then you kept talking about it, so I actually watched the whole. I think either the whole thing or part of it. I was just like, yeah, all right. Nice Reason.
Yeah. Did you like the music?
I don't remember what the music was.
Let me. Do you not? Because you would.
I don't remember it.
Take a friggin' guess at what it was. Sorry, fucking. Hold on. I gotta put this in chat.
Oh, are the links still deleted? Because I don't understand what it is.
Okay, I'm posting it in Shoutbox, so you guys can take a look.
Damn, I tried. I didn't fucking. I turned it off. I thought I turned the link thing off. Let me double check for you guys real quick.
Oh, I see people have already got it in the favorites. Okay.
Well, I can post a link because I'm a moderator on the Twitch chat, but no, so some other people can't.
For some reason, it didn't save the changes. Here, hopefully links will work now. Wait, what? It just keeps saying delete links in chat. It just rechecks that for some reason.
We'll figure that out later, probably.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Anyways, someone already posted the part of the
All right, so the next thing to mention is.
All right, now it should work. Hopefully, it'll work.
Oh, I think we already kind of glossed over this, but it's how newer spinners should be learning to spin. So fundamentals, and then what else to learn, and learning order by Fuji Waffle.
Yeah.
So hobby.
What I really wanted to talk about is like the learning order you see on Reddit. Learning order, like was it Shadow's learning order was called? I don't remember, but it was like in UPSB as well. It was on Reddit. It was like it's everywhere basically, right? So like the learning order, I agree that it's important and you could probably follow it and be like a decent spinner, but like I find it more as a guideline more than anything else, because you don't have to follow it. In my opinion, like fundamentals are the most important tricks you have to learn at first, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's pretty much like how I look at it. But
Yeah.
I still agree that learning Fuji waffles, like learning like after fundamentals, you learn twisted sonic variations, you learn shadows, you learn arounds. Yes, I agree that those are really good tricks to start with, but some people, if you really want to be like really weird and unique, you can like invent weird tricks and learn weird stuff if you want. But I still generally agree with the guideline. Reason, do you want anything to say?
Well, I could talk kind of in general about learning more.
Okay.
Well, with me, like I took a long time to develop like fundamentals and everything like that. Like my beginning stage, like the first year, I was basically just learning fundamentals. Mostly because I didn't want to move on until I was done. It's not like I didn't watch Katrin's tutorials back then, which by the way, I know a lot of people unironically like Katrin, but a lot of his tutorials are not as helpful. I would suggest Esso because he's pretty great, but I started off learning like thumb around reverse, Sonic, and I think I spent just like a year learning a lot of those ones,
Yeah.
and moved on. Like my second year was pretty much all hybrids, and that was the most fun I had. Like I still think it's better than learning learning like all of power for me because it was just like every week it was a new trick. It was like 2 or 3 new tricks. It was so much fun. But that's the thing is you can learn whatever way you want really. I just suggest you start with the basics because it's the most sensible way to do it. I mean you can learn power whenever you want, I guess. Just, make sure you're not if you want your spinning to look decent, just make sure you're doing what's necessary first. You're getting your basics down. You're getting some decent consistency there.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's sweet. Did you have anything else to say? I mean, like, you're kind of in that process, aren't you?
Yeah. So since I am running out of modding parts to mod, and I've tried to get back into spinning. So because there are some gathering videos that I've watched recently, back in 2011, 12 of my spinning, and basically the combos that I do then are exactly the same. The only thing I have is that since I've been doing the same tricks over and over again, I have some kind of style or consistency with it. But besides that, I have a very small trick vocabulary. So I think once I finish uni for the semester, I'll try to sit down and learn some more linkages and go from there.
Yeah. Are you gonna keep spinning MX, by the way? Because I'm actually curious if you want to.
So I tried spinning a Dr. Grip, and I did for about a year.
Oh my god, it's so hard to
that
spin.
was yeah, it took a while. But the thing with Dr. Grip is that because my trick vocabulary was very limited, I noticed myself doing the same tricks over and over again. Like there wasn't any variety, and it was I don't know. I mean, if you already know how to spin pretty well, you can switch to Dr. Grip and try it. But I don't think there's any benefit to spinning a Dr. Grip besides saying that you can spin a Dr. Grip. Because
I think Reason can attest to this because he has one. I do
yeah,
too.
I mean, I've been using one recently because I bought one, well, two actually from Sparking. And
you bought the one. You bought the one that I wanted.
Oh shit!
You bought the enamel one that I wanted.
Yeah, dude, that one's really nice. I actually take that to
It's the
class
better
and
one.
everything.
Yeah, it's a better one because the grip is stiff, so when you spin it, it doesn't like.
Yeah, it doesn't like grip onto you. You can actually slide with it.
So,
Actually, Tigre suggested to me a while back that it's very good for learning a lot of minor tricks. Like for example, cardioid reverse, or there was another one like I don't know what it was, like pseudo cardioid reverse. I don't know, it was something crazy I saw before, but it's really good for just perfecting simple tricks.
yeah.
Rather those minor
Like,
tricks.
like passes, or like twisted sonics are
Yeah,
very.
I'm telling you right now, like I'm getting very good with Sonic rise fall harmonic just because I'm doing that constantly with it because it's probably the easiest thing to do.
And also with the Dr. Grip, it's very satisfying to watch the barrel fade into white because
yes.
all Dr. Grips, they're painted with a metallic. I mean, they're painted with a color, unless you've got a clear version. But if you got like the like a regular Dr. Grip, Japanese Dr. Grip, and you spin them a lot, the color will fade over time, and it's just really nice to see.
Yeah.
Haven't experienced that yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Slowly.
I don't
Yeah,
think
mine's
I'll.
about half.
Yeah, I don't think
Mine's
I'll.
about halfway there.
It's just, it's such a niche pen to be able to spin. Like, only a few people actually are really good at it. People like
Yeah,
Ease, people like Vane can actually spin it quite well, actually. And
like H.
Ash was like a really old spinner.
Yeah.
Kevin, and then there was what Objet.
Neko.
Objet Neko is definitely a big one as well. Those are like some big,
And it also helps
well-known
with
Dr. Grip spinners if you're looking for something to watch.
because since a Dr. Grip is so heavy and the body is very thick, it also helps build finger dexterity and strength because it takes a lot of effort to like be able to move the pen around since it's so heavy and short.
Mm-hmm. I've been. Did you guys ever try to do the drill trick with it?
The what?
The drill trick. It's where you're literally getting it to spin on the back of it. I guess not really the back cap, but where you press the button. I don't know. But the
Oh, it
opposite
bounces
side of the
off.
tip. It's like
Oh,
you hold the. I can't really describe it accurately, but yeah, you're getting it to basically spin like a top. It's a
jeez.
really dumb, useless trick, but I've been doing that recently. I don't know why. It's just fun. Um,
But yeah, it's just see, like I don't spin my Dr. Grip anymore because I feel like I wasn't able to progress any further. So at the moment I'm spinning a Comsa with G3 tips because I don't know, maybe once I have a larger trick vocabulary I can switch to more mods like the MX
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
All right. So, do you guys want to move on real quick to the methods and tricks we use to, practice spinning in general?
So I'll go first on that one. Like what I said before, the fundamentals, in charge, sonic, finger pass. Is that all the fundamentals?
Charge, sonic, finger pass, thumb around.
Yeah, thumb round. So thumb round and thumb round reverse aren't that important. Because there can't be that many variations, but just passing in different slots, charging, being able to do reverse twisted sonic in, 2-3, 3-4, that kind of thing can help immensely. Because I noticed that back when I used to spin, I rarely use the pen in 3-4, and so I'm kind of lacking the strength or dexterity to be able to do certain tricks in 3-4. So
Yeah. Reason, do you want to talk about this? What's your routine for practicing?
just for straight practicing.
Like, we can talk about straight practicing and then talk about a little bit about filming, I guess.
Okay, well, I don't usually have as much of of I don't know, like a regimen for practicing itself, but usually for me, I'll throw on either like a YouTube show or a podcast or something, sometimes music, and I'll just practice either a specific combo or a specific trick. Um, Usually it's a power trick or something, and I'll just spend time on it, try to perfect it. By the way, always use lotion as well. It really does help quite a bit.
yeah. But I like the lube lotion, but I just like
No,
moisturizing
like
lotion.
I've got it right here. I use Suave Skin Solutions, smoothing with cocoa butter and shea, softens rough,
Ooh.
dry skin. But yeah, that works really well for just getting a decent grip on it. I mean, I just hate spinning with dry hands.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, generally I won't practice really, at least not crazy outside of my room. Um I'll try to keep it inside so that I'm not like losing pens or getting them dirty.
Yeah.
And yeah. Besides that, I don't really have any specific method for practicing. It's usually the same for me each time. I'll spend like an hour or so doing that.
And there's always gonna be jokes about this lotion thing. If anyone's ever like speed cubed, like you use lubrication, like you use lube to like lubricate your cube. So like that has become like a huge joke in that community. Also, hi V Strike. V Strike is here, by the way, guys.
Good job, Horizon. You just made a new meme.
It was never. It was always a meme.
There's gonna be someone watching. Please make like some sort of meme with like a bottle of lube and reason, please. That'd be the best. Hey V Strike, I really like your V Strike mod.
Oh my god, this is gonna happen again. I'll be back.
Oh, it's a curse. Oh man.
It's every time you have a podcast, someone rings Hobby.
What was that? The Unfriended, that movie? Oh my god, that's really loud. Jesus. Okay. All right. So, what are your methods then, Sui, for practicing, or did you already talk about that?
Well, I think I'll talk about personal experience, but so the way that I learned spinning was from just freestyling randomly while doing something else. I never actually sat down for like 20 minutes and practice non-stop. It was more like me spinning randomly while studying or in the car or anything. Like there hasn't been any time where I've committed time to actually sit down and spin. So I think if you want to progress, maybe sit down for an hour on Tiny Chat or something and just spin. Practice a trick, practice a combo, a linkage, and that'll definitely help.
So, do you usually like watch something while you're practicing, or
So usually I'm either spinning while watching YouTube or just studying or anything, like while I'm reading something. But I should definitely try to, like, whenever I'm free, just I maybe just go on Tiny Chat. I think Tiny Chat's a really good platform. If someone is there with you, you can talk or whatever, and you can still broadcast while someone's watching you. That sounds creepy, but it kind of motivates you to spin as well, so which is nice.
Yeah. I used to just go outside a lot and pen spin like in my yard because I've got a lot of property at my home. So
wow,
it's
so
relaxing.
So much money. This guy has a mansion with like a huge backyard.
V-Strike is having issues kind of distinguishing who's who. So
all right, let me take care of this right now. I'm the one with a good voice. I'm Reason. The one with the Australian accent is Sui, and the one who says washroom is Hobby.
Oh my god, you guys, please.
Washroom. On the topic of washroom, where's Chip Salsa? Is he here?
Yeah, I think
Salsa,
he is. I saw him say hey earlier.
Chip Salsa, are you watching the stream? So Chip Salsa has a habit of pronouncing things very wrong. Like it's been a recurring joke where so acetone, right? Nail polish remover.
Oh my god, we already said this though.
No, but a lot of news spinners haven't heard it. He rather saying acetone, he says acetone, and the more recent one is rather saying Vietnamese, he says Vietnamese. He mixes up the M and the N in Vietnamese.
Yeah, he actually tricked me because I thought he spelled it. He like actually wrote Vietnamese like on like the word on like the Discord, and I read it the way he said it because he spelled it swapped out. So I was just like, wait, what? I thought this is how you pronounce it.
I love how I had to say to him, it's like, think about the name of the country, and then he's like, oh. It's like, oh, that's right. That's not spelled that way.
V-Strike, since you're watching, are you ever gonna release the tutorial for your mod?
Oh my god, why? Don't even ask that kind of thing. I don't condone asking that.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the unsacred secret mods.
Yeah, we can talk about it next
The
stream because it's gonna be more of your forte, right? It's
All
gonna be
right,
modding,
yeah.
right?
the secret mod black market. It's no, it could be a thing, where you trade your tutorial for something for another tutorial.
Oh, apparently he did actually make a tutorial. And he says he thought everybody knew.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, sweet. Well,
Whoa.
looks like you need some Googling
Move
fixes.
over. No.
Learn how to Google.
Move over, Manoa. The V-Strike is here.
Okay, so I guess should I talk about a little bit of how I practice, I guess?
Yes.
Yep.
Because I don't really know like if there's any specific method I practice, but I feel like it's better if you like it's good if you like watch pen spinning while you're spinning and like do other stuff while you're spinning and you're just like practicing that way kind of like unconsciously. But I feel like it's really important to like, actually sit down, look at your hand and actually sit down and just practice. And usually that's boring, yeah, but what I like to do is just put on some music and just relax, just practice. And that's just like a really chill thing for me to do nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about like how we film? Like our
Do you want to start? Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because from what I've heard, it's weird because it's not something you think about much, but the way people film generally, for whether it be like a collab or just something for fun, people go in with like they'll have different methods. Like I know sometimes people will film for like 1 or 2 minutes and then they'll review the footage and delete it. Personally, what I'll do is I'll cut out usually an hour of time um, to just sit down, put on music or podcast or something, and just work on usually 1 or 2 combos. Maybe I'll film power in between, um, but I'll be filming that for about an hour. I usually cut the video recording every 15, 20 minutes and then delete it if it's no good. Um, but yeah, I don't usually settle on the first time I land a combo too. I'll try to perfect it as much as I can before settling on it and uploading it.
I sometimes do settle as first one because after one time, um, if you remember UPSB 2013, my round 3 combo, like that, I got that combo down within 15 minutes of me filming somehow. I don't know how, but I tried to do it again to try to like make it better, see if I can make the execution better, make it look better. But the combo I filmed after it did not actually look as good, so I just stuck with the first combo somehow.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why I was able to pull that off is because what's it called? Like I always practice before I film. I always practice before I film. Like I'll constantly practice the combo before I film, or just constantly practice specific links you find difficult in the combo, and just that will help you a lot in filming. Also, if you're having trouble, like if you get nervous while you film, I really, really agree with Reason that you can put on some music and kind of relax yourself, and that really helps. Um, I used to and still kind of do get nervous actually because it's just like performance anxiety. Like when you want to finish something, you're just like, oh shit, what if I drop the pen? What if I do an American motion? What if I fuck it up? Like it's just it gets nerve wracking, especially when you're in a competition. You almost feel like, at least when I was filming, I felt like a lot of people were watching me even though they weren't. It's just like so much pressure, even though it wasn't that bad.
I mean, for me, it's weird because like I'll get infuriated with it if I'm not landing the combo. I mean, this hasn't
Yeah.
happened recently because I just don't care as much anymore. Like if I can't land the combo, I'm getting like a little upset with it. I'll just stop and work on something else instead. That's another thing too, is seriously important to take breaks when filming, especially if it's the same combo or you're filming like power. Just take breaks in between, because like my arms get really tired of being held up for that long. But also it's just tiring to stay in one place and do the same thing that often. I mean, give your eyes a rest, give your arm a rest. Just do something completely different.
Yeah, because I know that my wrist gets a bit sore whenever I spin a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not my wrist for me. It's definitely like my shoulder for holding up my my hand the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, definitely make sure you guys take breaks when you spin, like when you practice. If your hand is hurting, make sure you take care of your hand. Like, pen spinning is a hobby. Like, make sure you don't fuck up like your actual hand. You need to
Pen
use that
spinning's
stuff
fun.
for other things like
Power.
jacking off. Obviously,
Power.
That could be a hobby.
I mean, yeah.
Haha.
All
Alright, so we're running out of time now, so we'll just wrap it up with a Q&A. If you guys any viewers watching want to post questions in the Twitch chat or in the UPSB chat box, we'll try to answer them before we wrap up the podcast
yeah.
this week.
So go ahead, go ham, guys.
Hit me up, girl. HMU. It'll be lit.
Man. Oh, first question, V-Strike, can I be a mod? Yeah.
But where? Like, do you want to be a Discord mod or
You want to
you
be a
can-
pen mod?
You can be a V-Strike mod.
Do you want to convert your body into a pen mod, and then we can spin you right round and round?
No, we can
Like a
cremate
record,
we can cremate V-Strike and then use the ashes to like mix them with some plastic mold or like some metal tips, you know.
That's pretty gross. That reminds me of something actually. Do you remember Miat and like it was like a tag with like Miat and Alvarez, where like they like mixed like any ball rings with like dough and put it in the oven, and then Miat took it out on in his house, and it was just a mod.
That's so funny.
That was really good. I love that.
All right. What Cat Serial asks, what new mod should I get?
Well, it depends on
mod.
It really depends on like what skill level you're at. But I normally the reason I agree that spinning really like busters will ruin your style is a huge myth. I agree with that. But at the same time, I still feel like you should aim for something down in the middle, like just more like middleweight, because that gives you more room to like get a heavier mod in the future if you want it. Because if you start with a mod that is like really heavy, like all the way to the top, you can't get mods heavier than that if you already are used to that momentum. So if you start with like a medium weight mod, something like the waterfall or like something signo tipped, I personally recommend you spin a signo tipped Kamsa, because that allows you to go down if you want to spin lighter and go heavier if you want to spin heavier. Anyone want to say anything else?
I've been actually spinning recently. It's just a DC ball sign with airfit grips and Sino tips.
Jesus Christ, I thought you said airfit tips. I'm like, holy crap.
It's pretty light, but it's pretty enjoyable actually. I would suggest trying that out. It's got a lot of momentum while still being light because it's ball sign. But I don't know. I'd also suggest waterfall probably too.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think the waterfall is a very good middle ground for kind of medium weight and heavy enough to be able to do power tricks and all that as well. So the Arca asks, what kind of pen should I be spinning at my level? And I'd say something medium weight. Medium weight's probably the best if you. It's like medium weight's good middle ground.
Yeah.
V-Strike asks, how do I stop losing pens? You're not
Stop
losing
spinning
pens.
them.
Stop spinning them. Stop flicking your pens like across the room.
Flicking your pens.
Yeah.
That sounds
Stop flipping your pens. Stop twirling your pens. Stop twiddling your pens.
I think if you've lost $500 worth of pens, you're not losing them. Someone's taking them off you.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Someone is stealing them.
I actually, for some reason, I've managed to like be able to keep all my pens without losing them. Really,
I've lost a fair share of
I've
mods.
probably lost like a couple pens, but like not like mods. Mods I've always been able to keep.
No, I've lost mods for sure. I took them around a lot at school though, so that happens.
Yeah, Lukunga took them. That's the reason.
The what?
V Strike said probably Lukunga took his mods.
He took everything. He took everything from you. Your mod, your tutorial.
Oh my god, that's pretty brutal though. Taking like Lukunga leaked his tutorial. That sucks.
It's like you hold someone's mod ransom. Like, give me a certain amount of money or else I'll release the tutorial.
Alright, so CYY on the shout box is asking if it's alright that his spinning is slow. Or tips for sweaty hands, he also asks.
I'll talk about the slow spinning. For me, I know that the slower spinning allows me to put more style and emphasis into my spinning rather than doing quick, rather than spinning really, really quickly.
I mean, you can spin whatever speed you want, whatever works for you.
Honestly, I honestly feel like the speed you spin at has to be the speed it feels natural at. Because if you don't spin at the speed where it feels natural, then everything kind of falls apart there. For some reason, I just never bothered like making my spinning particularly slow or fast, just because there's a certain speed that for some reason after you spin for a while, you just spin that speed.
Oh, sorry. Your CYY is female.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's an assumption we make because
you can assume that. Sorry, we're misgendering. That's really wrong of us.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I want to move on to this question though because this is I think this is interesting. Cat Cereal asks, please answer, why are busters bad? I'm going to start off and say that is a that is kind of a myth. I don't think anyone, well, at least not a lot of people's, believe that it's really a mod that's bad for you. That was kind of a myth started a long time ago. I don't know who started it.
Patreon maybe?
He definitely popularized the idea, but it's
a general conception that using heavy mods is bad for you, which is not true. But go on, I'll explain that later.
We have there's proof out there that there's a lot of spinners who started with heavier mods and they turned out, fine on their own.
Fine, yeah.
It's not something that really matters so much. Honestly, if you want to learn like fundamentals on an MX, like all your tricks on an MX, then you're a masochist. You want to spin something at least with a little bit of weight because it'll probably be easier, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't want to just make it brutal for yourself. I think lighter mods are good for refining that execution and control, but it's easier definitely to learn tricks on a little bit of a heavier mod.
I still agree with the fact that I still want to say that it's better if you start with the middleweight mod. Always definitely better because of how you can decide to change what mod. Like you can decide to get a heavier mod or a lighter mod, basically, instead of being at the very top. That's the only reason I would say against Buster. But otherwise, you can do whatever. It's just down to preference. Some spinners who started with Buster is, if you guys know Jackie Mackey, he started with the Buster, and he's doing some right now. He's not as active as he used to be, but he does some 2-hand, 1-pen stuff. And who else? The Blood God. The Blood God also started with a Buster, I think, or was it in Boss? I don't quite remember.
The myth that using a heavy mod or Buster ruins your spinning isn't true. Like what Reason and Hobby said, when you use a heavy mod, you can easily rely on the weight and momentum to move the pen around for certain tricks. Whereas if you're spinning a lighter pen, you kind of need to force the pen a bit more to do what you want it. And when people say that it's bad for your spinning early on, I mean, maybe the only negative downside is that if you plan on going to if you've been spinning a heavy mod for a long time and you switch to say like an MX or like an even much like a much lighter DC mod like a Comstar, you have trouble. Like it'll take time for you to adjust
Hmm.
down to the weight. And so that's why a medium weight mod is good because
Yeah, I
if
also
you're
want to
lighter
mention
or
that.
heavier.
I also want to mention that make sure that you try to stick to one mod to spin as much as possible, because what I've learned, at least from my experience, opinion, but if you keep switching mods, you start like not having like a your muscle memory doesn't remember like specifically how to do a certain trick on that mod, and it becomes way easier if you actually stick with a certain mod. I'm talking to people who are mostly like who keep like they pick up a pen, practice a trick on one mod, and then practice a trick on another mod. Like that's not really something I would endorse doing. Also, do you guys want to wrap it up soon? We can take like one or two more
Okay,
questions.
I wanted to go on this one real quick because this is just a really quick response. But Kuro said in the shout box that he thinks it would be a bad idea to spin heavier mods because it'll strain your hand and lead to bad control. Like if you're starting out spinning heavy mods, and I can understand where that comes from, but I think everyone has bad control no matter what you're using when you're starting out. So it really, I don't think it leads to bad control. I think you just have bad control when you're starting. That's just what it is. It doesn't matter what you're using. In fact, you're gonna have really shitty control if you're using like a Comsa starting out. Like it's awful.
You learn
All
it
right.
much quicker with the heavier mod. That's the only thing.
Yeah, just refine
because
refine with other lighter pens, I guess. I mean, you do what you want.
yeah.
Also, we're
And
on the
one
LPSA second collab right now, which is pretty suitable. It's pretty funny.
it's ironic.
Yeah, I'm not sure if V-Strike is in here actually, but anyways, what was another question?
We'll
One
take
more?
one more question
One more?
before we have to
We
one
wait for
more.
another one, or do you have one already? Aesop
First
says
thing,
one. Should I spin comms instead of waterfall at school?
I think we already covered that. Like,
Oh, okay.
just any question. If anyone has anything.
All right, let's.
All right, just like in summation here, like heavy mods will not ruin your spinning. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It's a myth.
Don't worry about it.
It's a myth, guys. Wait, do you know any other spinners who started with Buster or Heavy Mod? They're actually pretty good spinners now.
I do. I know. You probably don't remember him. His name was Spinner Addiction. Taylor.
Oh, never heard of it.
He was on V3 with me. He spun for about 2 years. Started off with a Buster, got really good, and then kind of just left the spinning.
I remember there's this person called. What's it called? Oh wait, iColor started with the Buster. iColor did.
Yeah.
iColor actually started with a Buster, and he spins like that Name mod now. Which I'm not sure if he's not really active nowadays, but he used to.
Name mod's about medium weight mod. Yeah.
So we're gonna give like a little bit more of time if you guys have any more questions, and then we'll probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
Give it about a minute to see if anyone asks any questions.
Oh yeah, wasn't there that no, iColor isn't still spinning actually, unfortunately. iColor is kind of gone. He's a retired moderator. It's unfortunate.
He's doing some really he's doing some really cool stuff as well though. He's like in terms of like engineering or something or computering on his Facebook that I've seen.
Wait, V-Strike asked the question? He was just like me. I asked the question.
How do I keep the balance between expressing myself and pen spinning and try to be like 7?
Be yourself, guys. Be yourself.
Our next question is from Molly from North Dakota. She asks us. No, I don't have a Molly.
I bet you do.
A Molly? Dude, I popped that
tonight.
Molly. It's in North Dakota though.
Does no, iColor doesn't really show up on UPSB anymore, unfortunately. He's like doing
that reminds me, I need to go pick up some weed from the uni dealer today.
What? Kids, don't do weed.
Guys,
I'm in Australia. I grow like different kinds of bush weeds, for the garden.
Okay, we have a really good question now. Kiro asks a question I actually am not as familiar with. It's more I think it's more about opinion, but it's what makes a good combo structure.
I
Hmm.
think I think that you'd need a full class for that.
Yeah,
That
that's
or just spend years observing pen spinning. Like honestly, because I could go into it.
I think it's style. Like to sum it up, it'd be style.
style.
Stick
What
to
do you mean?
one. As in, you know how there's it's like you know how different spinners have different styles that they do, like different linkages of combos that look different. Like a combo that incorporates a lot of wipers versus a combo that incorporates a lot of like intricate linkages or something. Like
Mhm.
it's like don't mix up different styles if you
Oh,
get what I
okay.
mean. Yeah,
Like you mean like kind of like if you add power, twisted sonic variations and more power kind of thing.
yeah. Don't like do
Yeah.
random like you know like like
Also,
like intricate
yeah.
passes and shit
But
like that.
also,
Just
like one thing I want to say is also combo structure can be really, really, really opinionated too because you can make bad combo structure look good somehow. Like, like technically, like all these MX spinners you see, it's just a lot of the same tricks and such like that. I mean, they're not. Some of them, like a lot of them, try not to spam, obviously, but you can still make filler look good. You can still
Well,
make like all these
see, that's a
things look
that's a
good.
difference. Is it's not necessarily about like the tricks that they're using in that. It's the fact that they're putting them together in a way that still looks nice and they're executing them well. I mean, I think you'd be able to tell if it was like a boring structure or if it was a disruptive structure. Um, but I think that they still have a good combo structure, even if they are doing like a lot of repeated links or simple tricks.
Hmm.
I mean
Um,
that. Yeah, go on.
yeah. The obvious kind of combo structure you kind of follow is like you finish with a trick that is bigger than what you started with. That's kind of like that was like one of the guidelines I learned when I first kind of understood. I kind of
I have
learned pen
I
spinning.
have
Was
sorry, I
like you
have one
don't
question.
start like it's a bad starter to start with like a Haitua and then end with a Haitua.
Yeah.
It's really weird that way. You're kind of like it's really
Well,
odd. So
well,
power
like a
tricks are
finisher.
tend to be really good for finishers unless you're doing really complicated links like Isaac does. But yeah, that's the general guideline how power structure
I've
works.
got I've got one question for a viewer. Blooper G Man. Do you plan on learning to pen spin?
Well, while he's answering, let me kind of build this thing. I want to
Sorry,
say that
my
another thing is
vibrator's
that what
ringing.
was I gonna say? Combo structure is like it's it's something you really have to learn on your own too. Like I really feel like combo structure is something you have to watch a lot of your own combos. You watch a lot of other people's combos,
Is that
and that way
Rex?
you'll learn like what kind of structure they have. You really, really need to study it yourself because I really can't give you a solid explanation on how it works. Is that good?
Um,
Guys, have
yeah.
anything else to say?
I was waiting for Blooper G Man's reply.
All right, let's.
How to learn combo structure. This is pretty easy. Watch some pen spinners.
Yeah,
Watch a
that's
lot
literally
of
what I
pen
just
spinners.
said. I just said
Watch.
watch a lot of
Yeah.
videos. Blooper, answer us. Senpai, please notice. Senpai,
probably went off for something.
senpai, please notice me.
Let's talk about power. Who talk about power and it will pop up.
Oh wait, yeah. If we talk about power, we'll call the great blooper.
You got to make it sound natural though.
Is it just like Beetlejuice? Do I have to say it 3 times?
Oh
Beetlejuice,
God.
Beetlejuice.
Do you want to spend the next hour
Oh wait,
defining
he's here.
style?
He's here. He just made a face. He just made literally just made a
Oh,
face.
Blooper G Man. Do you plan on learning to pen spin?
No, we got to wait 5 seconds for the
He just
delay.
says power now.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, from the
That's right.
experience I have talked, like, in all seriousness, like, from the experience I've talked to Blooper, he's really interested in, like, pen spinning, actually, because I've talked to him about it. I mentioned it, like, a couple times. And he's actually, that's why he's here, because apparently he's watched my VOD for the podcast before. So he's probably not going to actually learn, but he's kind of interested in the community and the
I think
ideas of it,
it'd
which
be
is kind
cool
of
to
cool.
get more. it'd be cool to get more like viewers too, like not necessarily spinners, but if there was like an audience for it, then like
Yeah.
people who actually took the time to learn like theory, I guess, enough, not necessarily practice, but
Yeah.
just learn what makes a
But
combo good.
it's not even like theory or anything, because people, any spinner who watches, any spinner, like not any spinner, but like any like new spinner, like person who never spun before, like anyone who, like a random person who doesn't know anything about pen spinning, like if they look at people who spin, it's actually not too hard to tell who's good and who's not. Mainly due from like a control standpoint, I think that's usually what they look at.
Yeah. Actually, I got some really good advice before from a non-pen spinning friend I had. Like, he was able to observe a lot of it and figure out what makes it look good, and he would give me advice on it. This is also when I was starting too. But
All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this podcast, guys. I think thank you guys so much for sticking with me and talking about stuff with me, Sweet and Reason. Really appreciate it, and thanks especially to Sweet for like doing a lot of the podcast work. He's actually he's been helping us like write a lot of the topics down and like organize a lot of stuff. So thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah.
Also, thank you to the viewers very much for stopping by, because like us talking about this, it really helps when people are listening and that we aren't just like talking to no one. So thank you very much for watching, guys.
Oh, and just note there won't be a podcast next week. But we will post a notice about that.
yeah, and thanks to Pepsi for being
Pepsi Max,
being a wonderful contributor and making this podcast possible. Although we are broke after this. So.
Well, also make sure you guys check out the suggestion thread on UPSB. I'll link it. Let me grab it real quick. And you guys can suggest stuff you want the podcast, what you want to be on the podcast. Basically, what suggestions do you want? What, like, do you like the overlay? Do you want to change the overlay? Like audio stuff, like anything. Tell us what you want.
Any ideas, as long as they're not like, stupid jokes or something. Any ideas at all? Don't even think they're stupid necessarily.
Yeah, I'm a beta mod guy, so better behave in that thread. Fuck your shit up.
Quote.
All right, see you guys. Everyone say bye. Peace, guys.
Night, baby girl.
Peace.